Welcome to our complimentary webinar today, Conformance Manager Demo, Always Be Audit Ready. We are excited to have you with us and thank you again for registering. We will have time for a Q&A session at the end of our presentation, so be sure to submit your questions in the chat box provided. I will now introduce our presenter for today, Oscar Combs. Oscar Combs is a senior consultant of the ISO 9001 group. Oscar has over 22 years of experience providing consulting, auditing, and training to organizations such as Transocean, Hewlett-Packard, Kawasaki, Cameron, Halliburton, and numerous other medium and small-sized organizations throughout the United States and abroad. Oscar is an exemplar certified lead auditor and principal management consultant. Everyone, let's welcome Oscar and begin our presentation for today.
Hello everyone, Oscar Combs here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Today I want to talk to you about just a little bit about our company first, and then today we want to get into doing a brief demo of our cloud-based application called Conformance Manager. So I want to jump into this real quick so that we can spend a bit of time covering that. So a little bit about our company. So the ISO 9001 group, we are a consulting, auditing, and training firm, and we're based in Houston, Texas. Okay, and our focus is that we focus on helping companies improve their operations and reduce their risk. That is the mission of our company. And our consultants have over an average of 25 years of experience, so we are able to help you with all of your management system needs. I also would like to encourage you to go to your favorite social media and search the ISO 9001 group and like and follow us. You know, we are always providing great information and tips and things of this nature, always just trying to help you improve your operation within your company. We also do a random drawing on a monthly basis, and you can win $10 in Amazon bucks. And as you guys know, you can get a lot of stuff with $10 on Amazon. So at the end of the webinar today, we will have a Q&A session, so I want to encourage you to stay online until the end of the session and make sure that you get your questions answered, and also you can hear the answers to questions that other people may have. So make sure you stay logged in. So let's jump into the reason why we're here today. As you guys know, some of you may have attended our complimentary webinars in the past, but we come before you about every other month providing you with some information. And today's topic, we just wanted to give you a brief overview of our web-based application, Conformance Manager. Now, the Conformance Manager is a simple and intuitively designed application that's going to help you administer your management system. So it's going to help you do all the things that maybe your Word and Excel documents that are doing for you today, but it's going to do it in a more efficient and effective manner for you. Now, our web-based application is a very secured solution. Okay, and there's no IT department required, things of that nature. All of your data will be stored on IBM secured servers, and they're backed up. So we have these servers are redundantly backed up. So meaning if one fails, your data is still always available and backed up. So never a risk of losing data. When you log into Conformance Manager, it's a encrypted login, and all of the data transmitted through Conformance Manager is encrypted, so there's no risk of anyone stealing your data or gaining unauthorized access to your data. So, and all of the modules are fully integrated, kind of unlike these Word and Excel documents. They're not integrated, so sometimes you have to enter data multiple times just to fill out a form, and so Conformance Manager can help you with that. Conformance Manager is perfect for a small company, so can go to a mom and pop or medium-sized company or large companies. Conformance Manager, you can have one site or you can have multiple sites, and so we are able to accommodate that. The pricing for Conformance Manager starts at $99 per month per user. So if you wanted 4 users, you would just multiply that by $99 per month, and that's the cost. Now, the pricing kind of starts off at based upon a certain block of users, so certain amount. So at 99, I believe it's 1 to 30 users, and then it kind of gets some price breaks as you gain more users. Now, we will be offering a promotional offer, okay, for the next 20 companies that subscribes for at least a 3-month subscription. You'll get the first 30 days of the use of Conformance Manager for free. So that offer expires on April the 30th. All right, so if you like what you see today and you may want to give it a shot, feel free to contact us, and we'll set you up with that promotional offer. So in the demo today, what we will be covering are, the dashboard feature, tasks, how tasks are managed within Conformance Manager, and how the administration of Conformance Manager is set up. And then Conformance Manager has several modules and then sub-modules under these modules. But as you can see, they're all pretty straightforward and very intuitive, as I mentioned. So we have the employees module, anything that has to do with employees, such as training, employee evaluations, job descriptions, document control, document register, record retention, things like that. Requirements, you'll find things in here on design and development, service design and development, things of this nature, quality plans. On the compliance side, we're going to find things like the nonconformities and corrective and preventive actions, things like that, risk registers, incident reporting. Equipment side, we're going to find things like calibration and inventory of equipment, preventive maintenance. On the monitoring side, we're able to kind of go back and look at our objectives and monitor them based upon the targets that were set. And then in reports, we have various reports that we can get into. So at this time, I'm going to switch over to Conformance Manager and pull it up here. So now we're looking at Conformance Manager on the site, on the internet, and as you can see, this is a secured location, a secured site, and you can also see the security certificate over here in the bottom screen over here. So once you subscribe to Conformance Manager, and the way you would subscribe is that you would just kind of place an order, and then we would process your order, and then if you would tell us how many users, and we would set up the company admin, and then the company admin would go ahead and set up all the users for the company. Okay, so we're going to log in here as to our demo site. As you can see, the password here is fully encrypted. So we're going to hit submit, and we are now into Conformance Manager. Now, the first thing that we see in Conformance Manager is that we see the company name. We see who is logged in, so we can see the user, and the user can also update passwords and things of this nature. We see the dashboard, which is basically the screen that you see in the middle of your screen at the moment with all the charts. And then we have a task module where if tasks are assigned to users throughout Conformance Manager, they will appear here. So there's no, people thinking things were done, or, things in Conformance Manager are assigned to people. to maintain accountability and responsibility, and also monitoring that these tasks are actually being done. Okay, so the next thing we can see is the menu. So you can see that the menu is pretty self-explanatory, and as I mentioned, the whole concept of the design of Conformance Manager was just based upon it being simple, practical, and intuitive. All right, so we only have a few categories up top. We have the administration, we have the employees, document control, requirements, compliance, equipment, monitoring, and reports. Okay, so these are the modules that we have in Conformance Manager. Now, as we can see, we can click into these modules and you can see all of the sub-modules of Conformance Manager here. Now, these modules are primarily to set up things, right? So you could set up your multiple locations here. You could set up your users in Conformance Manager, and then you can set up various other things that are also used to provide data for drop downs and things of that nature. On the employee side, you can see things like job descriptions, training matrix, training register, competency assessment, employee feedback, and employee evaluation. So all of these things, as you know, are required by most management systems. On the document control side, we see a policy module, our controlled document register, of course, record retention, document transmittal when we want to make sure that people are receiving what we're sending them, and then action confirmation to make sure that people are taking action and they can confirm it to us. On the requirements side, we see things like product design and development, service design and development, product or service requirements, quality plan, calibration, test methods. This is for labs. So Conformance Manager is built to be robust, so it's not only for quality systems. It can be used for safety systems, health systems, environmental systems. So you can use Conformance Manager for a lot of different things. So it's not just geared for quality. So we have compliance, we have our nonconformity and CAPA, audit schedules, deviation change requests, FMEAs, meetings, risk register, incident reporting. Under equipment, we have where we can develop a PM schedule basically, and then we can register equipment. So this is where you would do like an inventory of your equipment, and then you can enter the actual service, whether it's calibration, changing oil, whatever it is, in this module. Now under monitoring, this is where we can go and monitor various things, and we'll get into a couple of these things here in a bit. But I just want to walk you through the high points right now. And then under reports, we have several reports that are formulated in Conformance Manager. But the good thing about Conformance Manager is that you can always download your data and you can formulate your own report into whatever format you would like. So that's just an overview of what we see on the screen. Let's talk about the dashboard. Now the dashboard is something that I wish I had when I was quality manager. You know, you could come in here and you can log in and you can see all of the high points of your system. You can kind of look at this and determine the health and the effectiveness of your management system. Okay, so we have things on here like training. We can see that we have 83% of training that's in the system, of the employees in the system, that's expired. All right, and then we see where these employees are active on their training. All right, so we can also look at this from different perspectives. So if we click this icon, it tells us, gives us a different view of the data. We click this icon, it gives us a pie chart. Now we come over here and look at our NCRs. It tells us how many NCRs we're having for the month. So this is good when we want to look on a month-by-month basis. We can see the level of the volume of nonconformities that are going on in the system. Over here we can look at those NCRs by department, right? So over here we can see that we have some from engineering, purchasing, and production, and if you click on it, you can see the actual detail of that data that's in the chart, right? So, you know, these dashboards are really good ways to kind of really get a quick view of the health of your management system and monitor those key metrics. Next thing I want to talk about are the tasks over here, right? So, you know, as you guys know, people often get in trouble just simply because they're not executing certain things, right? So here we can see this user has been assigned certain tasks, and the user has to administer these tasks. They have to close them out. They get notified in Conformance Manager when they log in, but also Conformance Manager engages the user by emailing them and letting them know that they also have a new task as well. Now, Conformance Manager doesn't bug users, meaning that it doesn't always email you every day and all of that. It's not designed to do that, but it will send a reminder to people based upon the due date. They'll get a 60-day out reminder, and then they'll get a 30-day out reminder, and then they'll get a 15-day out reminder. So the system at that point assumes that if you didn't take action based upon those reminders, you probably just don't want to do the task, but the task is always in Conformance Manager. And so it would be up to the supervisor at that point to ensure that the task is completed. So as tasks are completed, they come over here into the completed tab, and so that's how the task module works in Conformance Manager. All right. So I want to jump over here into our admin. So under the admin section, we can click on this one here. This company has 2 sites, right? So, and it also tells us how many users we have in each site as well. So we're able to, if your company has multiple sites, you can manage them per site all under one system. And the good thing about that is that the data here from these dashboards can represent all of the data from all sites, or it can represent data from individual sites as well. All right, so then you would just simply assign the users to the sites, okay? One thing that I want to talk about here under the admin is the reminder function. As you guys know, that there's a lot of things that you have to do throughout the year to administer your quality system or your environmental management system or your safety system. And you know that the auditors come in and sometimes they hit you on things just simply because you guys forgot to do them. And so Conformance Manager has developed, we have this reminders module where you can set up reminders, or a tickler if you will, and you can assign that reminder to a person. And so here, Shelley Johnson is to do the annual supplier evaluations every year by August the 1st, by August the 1st each year, right? So Shelley will receive a task, and she will also receive a reminder 60 days out, 30 days out, and 15 days out. Okay, so this is a way that we can make sure that important things are being done throughout the year. Now, these are different than tasks. These are simply reminders, and which you can use these for anything. All right. The other thing that we want to talk about are the objectives here, right? So we can go over here, and we are able to set up objectives or targets, right? So we can come over here and we can say that our customer return objective is to be less than or equal 3%, okay? And we want to monitor that on a monthly basis, and then the purpose of this objective we're able to list, and then we're able to come in here and we can monitor the metric, right? So this month it was 3 and 3 and then 2.5 and 5 here. So you're able to kind of see the fluctuation. Now, this is the same data that you also receive from the dashboard We can also come over here to reports, and we can look at the objectives, and we can click on this graph here, and we can look at the customer returns, and we can also see the actual graph of the data that we saw over there in that other module, right? So this is the good thing about Conformance Manager. This is what I'm talking about, how it integrates all of the data that's in the system, and we're able to utilize that data in multiple ways. Okay, I want to talk about our training topics over here. Now over here, we are able to set up all of the training that's required by the company. All right, so here we can see that we have various training topics: new employee orientation. The frequency of that is once, and this is on-the-job training. Or we also have certain procedures within the organization that employees should be trained upon, and they also come over as a training topic. Now later on, I will show you how the training topic is then connected to a position. And so therefore, people in the position or users assigned to that position are then linked with this required training, right? So that's something that would be hard to do in a Excel spreadsheet, to have a training topic and then tie it to all the people, and then tie the topic to the position, and then tie all the people in the position to the training topics, right? So these are the things that I'm talking about that Conformance Manager can really help us with. So let's jump over here to the employees module, okay? First thing I want to talk about are job descriptions. We know how important that is, right? So we can click on one job description here, being the quality manager job description. And it's just a typical job description. You come in here and you can put the overview, responsibilities, educational requirements, the experience requirements, skills, any legal statements that you want to appear in the footer of your job description. But the good thing about Conformance Manager, when I click on employees, it tells me all of the employees with that title, right? So maybe I have multiple sites and I have 4 or 5 quality managers. All 5 of them would appear here, and so that means that they all would have the same job descriptions, they would have the same training requirements, and so forth, right? So let's jump over into our training matrix. Now this is where I was telling you how Conformance Manager now associates the training topics by the position, right? So we come over here and we look at the quality manager position, and you can see that how Conformance Manager has assigned all quality managers, they have to go through this training, for example, right? Now this can be whatever your training is, but this is just a demo, but whatever your training is, you'll be able to set it up just like this, all right? Then we can come in here and we can register the training for the quality manager. So here we can look at Bob Craig, he's the quality manager, and we can see the training that Bob has taken here. Now if we open this training up, we can see when he took the training, and we can also see when that training expires. Now that's that dashboard chart what I was showing you earlier that showed the percentage of training that was current and the percentage that was expired, right? So we can see that this training for Bob is expired currently, and so he's showing up as being expired at the moment in that pie chart. All right, so this is a good way to monitor training. This is a good way to associate training requirements by positions, things of that nature. Now, another cool thing about Conformance Manager is, training someone and making sure that they're competent. Those are 2 different things. And so we're able to come over here and we can set up a test for a quality manager, okay? We can ask certain questions that the quality manager should know, and we can set up a test master, right? So the green represents the correct answer, and when that test is taken, we're able to come over here and pull up the test. Pull up this one here. And you can see what they answered, and you can see if they got it wrong. And this is a good way to, the question when the auditors ask you, well, how do you make sure people are competent? This is a good way to show them is in the competency test. All right. So those are some of the key features in the employee module. I want to turn our attention over to the document control module. The big thing here I want to focus on is just simply the how to control your documents here, right? So what we can do here is that let's look at our quality policy here. All right, so we can see that we have a document number. Now you can assign your own number, but Conformance Manager also gives your document a number. We see the latest revision, so the latest revision is 1, and so on the main screen it always just shows the latest revision. All right, so if it's 0, it'll be 0. You're also able to upload the actual document here, the actual procedure or whatever it is, and people click on it and they'll be able to see the document. You can assign a document type. You can see when the document was registered. You can see how often this document needs to be reviewed here. And we can see that it was approved by Shelley. The owner is Bob. So we can assign accountability to the document. And the document may only apply to one site, or it may apply to the whole company. And so we're able to make these documents site specific as well, right? So over here is where we maintain all of the history on the revision of a document over here, right? And you can see revision 1 here, and in overview, it's on revision 1 as well. All right, so those are some of the key points on the document control document register. You're also able to come over here and set up your different record retention policies. So you can list all of your record types and how long they should be retained, and then after the retention period, what should happen to them afterwards, right? So keep everybody on the same page there. Here we also have what we call a document transmittal, and the document transmittal is just simply a way for us to make sure that when we send a document to Shelley that she has to respond within Conformance Manager to show that she actually did receive that document, okay? I want to, at this point, jump over into our compliance section. Now these requirements, I'll jump on this real quick. Product design and development, as you can see here, you can just create a profile for each of your products. All of the various design input components and output components you're able to list here. Okay, that's what that is. We're able to come over here and do the same thing for service. Okay, just all of the inputs for designing your service. Okay, quality plan is one thing we can look at. And again, you can kind of go through here and you can look at all of, you can enter all of the requirements for a specific project or a specific product, so forth, to make sure that we're controlling our quality. Okay, I want to jump over here to our compliance and look at our nonconformity and CAPA, corrective action and preventive action. So we're going to look at this one here. You can see we have a good way to just enter a nonconformity, a good description, disposition, the impact of the nonconformity, and then we're able to do a 5Y on the nonconformity as well. Now we're able to assign the nonconformity a category, which is what we saw in the pie chart, where it kind of showed us the different categories of the nonconformity. So that's something that you may not be able to get if you just have a list of nonconformities in an Excel spreadsheet or in hard copy documents, but you put them in Conformance Manager, this will give you the ability to kind of prioritize your approach and your attention to the right category of the nonconformities. Here we can see the interim corrective action, the permanent corrective action, and we also follow up to make sure that that corrective action was indeed effective. Okay, so you know you can see over here that all of those modules are there. Okay. One other cool thing about Conformance Manager when it comes to that is that we can set up our audit schedule. All right, so we can set up when we need to audit certain things. We can set up when we can audit by process, or we can just put in that we have our annual audit due every year. So we can set it up that way as well. One thing that I also like about Conformance Manager is the FEMA module here. We can come over here and set it up, a failure mode effect analysis on cable failure, for example, or whatever your analysis is, right? So you can come in here, look at the various functions, the failure mode, the failure effects, failure cause, the process controls, and then it comes over here and automatically does all of the calculations that are required. And then we can do the recommended actions and were they effective, and then maintain the revisions on this FMEA. Another good thing here is that, you know, many of the management systems now require risk management. So we can come in here and we can enter our risk into our risk register. Okay, so for example, we can come over here and we can see this risk has been identified. We also can assign probability to the risk. We have a mitigation plan. So for every risk, you can have multiple mitigation plans, right? So it's a one-to-many relationship per risk. Same thing with the contingency plan. You may have one risk that may have multiple contingency plans. So Conformance Manager is able to help you accommodate your risk that you have within your system, which are required by many standards. And this is what I'm talking about in regards to Conformance Manager not only being a quality software application. You can use this also to report your safety incidences or your environmental incidences or your property damage incidences. For example, here's an incident report reported by the incident description, and we can also attach any supporting documents, witness statements, investigation information on the incident, management of change. So maybe from the incident we may need to do a nonconformity, right? So you can come over here and click and it'll take you to the nonconformity screen. Maybe from the incident, we may need to make a change in our process or in our procedure. We come over here and we click, it takes us to our change or deviation module, which is over the deviation module. Where is that? Here, deviation and change requests here, right? And then, this incident may introduce a new risk, and so therefore you can go in and enter a risk, right? So you can see how that's fully integrated there. Okay, I want to quickly jump over into our equipment module real quick and just kind of show you an example. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to click the equipment register here, and we're going to click on this piece of equipment. Now this piece of equipment is a caliper, and it requires calibration every year, right? It tells us how we're going to calibrate it and what the criteria is going to be and who's responsible for that. Now the common theme throughout Conformance Manager is accountability and responsibility, and then visibility, right? So, you know, that's where a lot of organizations get in trouble, is because people probably actually intend to do these things, but they just kind of forget sometimes. And so once we set this up, we can see, since we set it annually, we can see now Conformance Manager has automatically set up a calibration schedule for this specific piece of equipment. And now we're able to come over here and enter. Every time it's calibrated, we come over here and we can enter that, or if a piece of equipment is maintained. Now, it's worth me pointing out that we've kind of combined the preventive maintenance or the maintenance activities and the calibration activities together in one module. So although this example is focusing on calibration, you would also use the same module for any maintenance as well. All right. So this is where, if this was a maintenance routine where someone is coming in changing the oil on something or changing a filter, it would go here. And then you come over here, you see all of the history of all of the service that was done on that piece of equipment. Okay. All right. I want to quickly jump over into our monitoring module real quick. And let's look at the supplier, the metric here, right? We already talked about the quality objectives and how we can kind of monitor them, and we can see the history of that. All right. We can also evaluate our suppliers here. We come over here, we can see where we've evaluated all of the suppliers, right? So we're able to monitor our suppliers within Conformance Manager. Okay. We can also do customer satisfaction surveys. So if we come over here, we can set up a survey, and you would send out this, set up the survey. You can put how many ever questions you want. You can make the questions like this, like a Likert scaling, or you can make them open text boxes, however you would like them. And then you would get to group customers into a group. So this is called customer group. So maybe you don't want to send this to all your customers. Maybe you want to send it to a sampling of customers. So we refer to that as a customer group. And so in this group, two customers would receive this customer satisfaction survey. And as they complete the survey, this screen will update, and you will also be able to get a live view of the data as they complete the survey. And also, as I mentioned, Conformance Manager has a lot of reports over here that you can look at. We've already talked about a couple of them already. Objectives, you can look at them this way. You can come over here, you can look at your risk, for example. You can look at it that way. You can also download the data into an Excel spreadsheet, and you can create additional reporting however you want it to look as well. We'll just click on one more, training. So we're able to kind of, again, look at our training. We can download the actual data as well. So I just want to click on this one here, the nonconformity report. Okay. Right, so we're able to kind of see our nonconformities by month, by department, open, close, right? So it's very visual. It's very intuitive. It's a really, really good tool. At this point, I want to jump over back into our PowerPoint. And we'll turn it back over to Victoria.
Thank you, Oscar. We have a few questions for our Q&A session. So the first question we have is, what if our organization has multiple sites? How could we use Conformance Manager?
So Conformance Manager is designed specifically to accommodate one site, or can be multiple sites. And the thing that you have to think about if you have multiple sites is that you have to look at your data from a central standpoint, right? So you may want to roll up the data and see how all the sites are performing. You would be able to do that. So it can definitely accommodate a company with one site, or a company with 20 sites. How many ever sites you have?
Our next question is, how is Conformance Manager different from other applications for quality management systems?
Well, the first thing is that Conformance Manager is not just for quality management systems, it's for management systems. That's why we refer to Conformance Manager as a management system application and not a quality management system application. So more specifically, a couple ways that are very unique to Conformance Manager than other applications is first in price. You know, our price for Conformance Manager is very reasonable for the same and even more features than other applications offer. Conformance Manager doesn't require any contracts. You know, it's a subscription base. So if you subscribe for 3 months, that is your commitment. If you subscribe to 1 month, that is your commitment to Conformance Manager. Okay, but it's not you have to sign up for a whole year or something, right? All you have to do is give us a written notice when you want to cancel. Conformance Manager is designed to be very intuitive and very practical as well. All right, so as you saw in the screens, you know, you didn't have to scratch your head. Everything was very intuitive, laid out very well. All right, so that's what I believe that are some of the key differences between Conformance Manager and other applications that are on the market.
Our next submitted question is, how is data entry managed? Does it have to be imported, or is it built into it as initial phase of implementation?
We do have some bulk import modules for the initial setup for Conformance Manager. Things like equipment, users, you know, things that would be in high volume. You would bulk upload those items and then manage them moving forward in Conformance Manager. So yes, we definitely can accommodate some bulk imports.
And our last question is, how would I get started with Conformance Manager?
Well, the first thing, all you need to do is just contact us, or you can reach out to our website, ISO9001group.com, select the software, and you know, fill out the form, and we'll contact you. Or you can feel free to contact us directly at 832-326-9796 as well.
That concludes our Q&A session. Thank you again for attending our complimentary webinar. Please feel free to reach out to us at 832-326-9796 or at our email info@iso9001group.com to start Conformance Manager today, or if you have any additional questions. As Oscar mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, please be sure to like and follow the ISO 9001 group on our social media sites to stay up to date on when our next complimentary webinar will be, as well as additional training opportunities and to be entered into our Amazon gift card giveaway. This webinar will be available on our website and YouTube channel for your use. Thank you and have a quality day.